Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Way That I See It. Today, I have the incredible, gorgeous Carly Meyers, who I've had the pleasure of being friends with for the last couple of years. Oh, the wind has blown my pen and paper everywhere. It's way too hot in here, and I'm definitely perimenopausal, so the window's staying fully open, so I might be muting myself if it gets too noisy. But today, Carly has joined me because I have decided to become an affiliate for one of Carly's courses. And here's why. Number one, Carly's course is sick. And number two, Carly is amazing. So what I wanted to share with you guys tonight is not just about the course, but to get to know Carly, to get to know why she is someone you need to follow, why she is somebody you need to get in her circle. I don't know how much she can tell you about some of the things she's working on. There's some things that I know, so it may be that I know things that aren't public. We'll see. But I want to get into know her secrets. But first up, Carly, I would love for you, and I hate this question, but I also love this question, to just give everybody a little bit of background, I guess, to who you are, what you're into, what's your jam, what's your personal statistics, living with partner, 2 kids, vibes.
Do you want my breast size? Is that what you want? You want my breast size?
Not all right, okay. Detail, but as close as you want to get, babes.
Okay, amazing. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be on here. I'm 34. I've got 2 kids. Frankie, my son, is almost 3, and my daughter Margot is 1. They're absolutely wild. I run 2 businesses, one of which is my network marketing business, which is exactly how I know you, Luce. And then I have a coaching business as well. And I actually used to be a professional dancer. None of this was on the cards, this whole business being totes profesh. None of that was on the cards at all. I was always going to be a dancer, and then I got injured. That was the end of that. And then actually that at that point, that's kind of where my obsession with passive income streams, multiple income streams, things that didn't rely on me physically being there to earn money. That was kind of a big wake up call for me. But yeah, I'm just obsessed with all things empowering people to take ownership of their lives. That is the biggest thing. One of my key core values is responsibility, and that's taking responsibility for yourself, for your finances, for your mindset, for your own belief, for the way you feel about yourself, for the people you spend your time with. Responsibility is such a big thing for me, and I'm just on a major mission to help people take responsibility of their lives. I do have something else I can share you as well, which is I'm also the CEO of Girls Building Empires, which has actually only happened in the last week. But it is a community of 2.3 million female entrepreneurs on Instagram. And I've taken it over to turn it into an empire in its own right, which is so cool. And it's literally aligned so perfectly with my purpose, which is about helping women create freedom and choices.
Love
Very
that.
cool.
We're friends, because everyone who listens to my podcast knows that my number one value in life is the freedom to choose. And so this is why Carly and I get on, because she gets it, totally gets it. So Carly, I wanted to actually just really touch on, I think, something we could really get into, and something I've talked about before, but maybe not really got into the layers of detail on, is on the importance of multiple income streams. I think that, I very much spent the first 10 years of my working life as an employee. And even when I became self-employed for the first 4 years, it took me time to really adjust to what self-employed life meant. I basically created jobs for myself. So I basically just worked for myself, but I ended up working more than I'd ever worked in my life. Now, don't get me wrong, the more hours I worked, the more money I made. So of course I made more money than an employed life, but it didn't necessarily give me the freedom and choice I was seeking. So I think it'd be really interesting to maybe give an explanation from your perspective about how you understand multiple income streams. I think a lot of the time that gets bandied around. There's a lot of what I call hype bullshit on Instagram about, hey, become a 7-figure earner tomorrow. And it's just bullshit. It's a progress and it's a step thing. And I think it'd be really interesting to hear your perspective on kind of the importance of multiple income streams, and maybe to explain kind of, I guess, what passive income is.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think with multiple income streams, it's so important to have multiples, but you have to also be smart and strategic about it. You can't literally wake up and be like, oh,
oh, I don't know if we lost Carly or if that's
I'm sorry. That was my interwebs.
You're back, babes. It's all good. Start again.
Oh, it's telling me I'm unstable.
I mean, it's only
Don't we all, babe? Don't we all?
Okay, question again. Let's go with the question again. I'll probably have edited
I
that.
got the question.
Okay, fine. So
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think the thing about multiple income streams is that it is important to have multiple income streams, but you have to be strategic about it and you have to be smart. You can't just wake up and say, right, I'm going to create multiple income streams. I'm going to start 7 new businesses. There has to be a bit of a strategy, and you have to build one, stabilize it, build one, stabilize it, and just be smarter about how you're using your time. And I've seen the results of having multiple income streams and the importance of it play out in my life so many times. Like, obviously, when I was dancing and I was trading literally my body for money, not in that way, but like, if I couldn't move my body, I couldn't earn money. I'm not an OnlyFans, but I really realized that as soon as I got injured, I couldn't earn any money. I couldn't even waitress. I couldn't move my body. So that was like I said, a big wake-up call for me. But then in the pandemic as well, I had just had my son Frankie. He was about 4 months old. That's when we went into the pandemic, and my partner had opened a hair salon like 2 weeks before I gave birth to Frankie, and obviously that shut down. And he was shut for 7 months, so he couldn't earn money. Now, if I didn't have multiple income streams and I hadn't thought about this before and thought, I don't want to rely just on my maternity wage, to get me through this, we would have been surviving on my maternity pay, 2 of us. And that just does not work. But because I'd built this passive income stream in my network marketing business, and I had a few other revenue streams as well, I was able to say, it's cool, babe, I've got this. And we actually had an enjoyable time, at home in our little bubble, because we weren't stressed about money. And that was one of the biggest, I was so grateful in that moment that I'd done that and I'd had that foresight. And then again, I had another baby, and, same thing happened again, lockdown, and that was it. And so I think it's just so important, regardless of whether you feel like you need it now. Like, some people might be in a corporate job now and thinking, I'm good though. Like, I earn a really good income. I'm all good. And I hope what's happened with the pandemic has woken people up a little bit to be like, we never know what is going to happen. So in terms of security and stuff, I think it's so important to have multiple income streams. But passive income streams are so important, because I've done the hustle. All I've known my entire life as a performer and in my network marketing business is working my ass off in order to get paid. But now I've realized that when you can incorporate smarter income streams that don't rely on, trading your time for money, you can leverage your time a lot better. You can create huge wealth and actually be reducing the hours that you work. So that's why I'm able to build the businesses that I have now with 2 kids, barely any, child care or anything like that. It's because I only do the things that make sense time-wise. And I think it's so important. That's how there are so many opportunities. When I think about this time, right, the time we're in right now, so many people have gone into scarcity fear mode. People are talking about the economy and, it's so dreadful and things like that. And yes, we are in an absolute, economic shit show right now. However, the time we're living in is so different to when we've been in a recession before, because there is more opportunity out there for us to literally take responsibility for our lives and say, I'm going to create something and turn that into a massive income stream. We've never had opportunities like we do now. And this is why I think you can either look at this situation that we're in right now and say, I am going to cut back and, stay here and think, what can I reduce? Or I can look at this situation and think, how can I use what I have to make more money? And that's why I think the program that I'm bringing and the free challenge that I'm bringing, teaching people how to use what is already in their head and turning it into an income stream, excites me so much, because people have no idea what they're sitting on. That was a tangent from your question, but
I like tangents.
I told you I get giddy.
Babe, I'm exactly the same. I'm on, Josh is like, are you down the garden path, babe, or what? I'm off. And I can totally relate. And, it's really, we have obviously a really similar story, in that I was not a performer by any means. Christ, no one wants that.
You got moves though, babe. I've seen you.
Got moves, babe, but they're not the moves. They're not the moves. But in the pandemic time, which was effectively 2 years, Josh was a personal trainer and he'd left his corporate job because we were off to travel the world. That didn't happen.
Nice.
So luckily, you know, I built my coaching business and my, you know, and everything I was doing with that, and my network marketing business to the top level, which meant that financially we were good. We even had 3 5-star holidays because I was in a position where I could financially afford to do that because of the work I had done for the previous 5 years was paying off. And I think it's actually quite an interesting mindset to get into that space of trusting that you do work today for the future version of yourself. And I think what people get caught up in is the employee mindset of, I work today to get paid on the 31st, or I work today to get paid at the end of the month. And they live this month to month kind of life. And, you know, I think also what sometimes happens is people think that when they meet people who earn, you know, multi 6 figures, that we're out of touch. And like, I remember the day when I realized my credit card was maxed out, my account was in, my overdraft was maxed out. And I literally had a job at this point, right? It wasn't like I was doing nothing. I had spent everything and more. And like, I got myself out of 28 grand's worth of debt. I got myself to the place where I bought multiple houses, right? And that didn't come because of an accident. That didn't come because I waited for someone to hand me some inheritance. Like my parents, I hope they're here for a bloody long time, right? And I hope they enjoy their money, but that's what you're here for. And so I think what people struggle with is, I think they struggle with that jump from the stability. I'm not going to use the word security because to me, security feels different, but the stability and the comfort of a job and the earning, to then get into that mindset of doing something else or working after work to pay for your future self. And you know, even I know, like I've talked about this before, I'm doing some consultancy work. So for anyone that doesn't know, the events industry is a very interesting industry. And basically when the pandemic happened, everybody went and got different jobs. So everybody went and got jobs as managed supermarket managers, or started their own businesses, or whatever it might be. But the events industry is literally on its ass because the events industry started to come back with a bang and nobody wants to work. So because the government made it very easy not to work, which obviously I'm sure people were grateful for at the time, now not so much. So I was brought back in to deliver this multi-million pound project. And it's a very cool project. And when I tell everybody what it is, they'll be like, oh my God, as if you worked on that. But that being said, it's reminding me that when I finish, you know, hours and hours of meetings with corporates about what they want to do and their designs and whatever else it is, that I then need to sit down to work on my future business. Because as much as right now is overly abundant in terms of where I'm at with work, I have to remind myself to be building my businesses of the future. And I think that's a really hard shift to get into. So how do you, as a mom of 2, you know, you're tired, you're stressed. I know that you've, you know, like everyone, you've had your times where you've been ill, or the kids have had a bug, or that you were ill recently as well. You know, how do you get yourself into that space where, when it's been a day and a fucking half, to get yourself into the place where you're building that business that's your future income, your future passive income, or your future opportunity? How do you switch yourself into that mindset?
I think really it comes down to, this probably sounds really cliche, and if I really think about it, this actually honestly is genuinely the reason. It is honestly because I have such a purpose for it. Like, I don't know whether I could ever not do this. You know, like I really do genuinely want to help other people realize that they can live and they have in them already the power to create an incredible life. That is a deep rooted mission for me, much more than I want to make an extra 5K this month. I want to make an extra 10K, whatever. There's just, it's not the money. It's actually genuinely the purpose. And so I think once you attach it to something bigger than that, and also I've had so many moments where I think, thank goodness
Carly's unstable again. I will edit. If I don't edit, then at least you're entertained with me talking about editing for the couple of minutes. Wait for her to come back.
Sorry.
Fine, you're back. You basically just said I'll edit this anyway, but it's more than just the money, it's the mission. And then you said there's been so many moments, that's where we got to.
Yeah, there's been so many moments. Like, you know, not that long ago, my son was in and out of hospital for 7 months, and I didn't have to think once about how I was going to earn money and like, oh, but I need to leave him in hospital because I need to get to work. I just didn't even think about it. It was never a question. There was never that added pressure of like, what we're going to do as a family. And I think there's been too many moments like that to ever just sit and let it go and not prepare for that. And I just think the possibilities of the most outrageously abundant life are possible. So why would I not go for that? Like, I don't know. It must just be, maybe it's something about my personality. I'm just really like, I have an aversion to settling or like,
Oh, babe, I'm the
oh
same.
God, just this comfort zone. Like if I'm just not growing or moving or something, I'm so frustrated. And even when I first had my kids, I still felt like I wanted to do something. I have to keep myself alive, this fire in me. I have to keep going. And it is because I know that what I'm doing right now is my genuine calling. It's my passion. It's my purpose. So I would say if anyone is like just trying to figure out what it is that really lights you up. That's the most important thing, I think. Don't think with your head and think, oh, this is a very good thing to do, or oh, this is a good market. Of course, those things are really important, but what lights you up? Like what makes you so excited? That's what I just said to you, Luce. Like if you had 1 hour free every single day, how would you spend that hour? And that's how I've made some big decisions in my life recently. I have only had an hour a day most of the time. And I've just sat back and thought, where am I gravitating to? What is the work that I'm wanting to do? That's what I want to do. And that's what I'm going to do. So
yeah, I love that. And I think that's a mindset shift though. Like I don't think, I think a lot of people find that difficult to trust themselves. I've been talking a lot about self-trust. I've basically just done a little mini course on manifestation. So like mini manifestations, like double your money this month, or like, because I think sometimes people, the stretch from where they are to where they actually want to be is actually quite far in terms of their beliefs. And so one of the things I think a lot of people struggle to do is trust themselves. And that's one of the barriers to manifesting anything in your life. Because if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust the process. If you don't trust the process, nothing moves. So how do you, I mean, obviously we both know that we've been doing a ton of personal development for an extended period of time. So for someone that's sat there right now that's maybe got an idea, or that maybe is in network marketing, or maybe has a business, or maybe has done the things, maybe they've taken that first step, they've taken that branch into a side hustle, a business, an investment, whatever it might be, but they're struggling to like trust themselves, or they're struggling to make it a priority. I guess I'd be interested to know your take on how you've learned to trust yourself.
I think you've got to be smart as well. Like I think like if you're literally just starting out in this world and thinking, right, okay, I'm going to start doing something for myself, I don't recommend that you quit your job and go all in with this. This is not what I'm saying at all. I think, keeping your job, keeping your business, keeping that stability and that thing that makes you feel safe, keep that there, but just start dabbling. Like instead of watching rubbish, instead of scrolling, instead of doing that, start learning, start growing, start listening to podcasts that are taking you in the direction of where you want to go. If you're listening to this anyway, you're already like part way on your journey. But I think learning to trust yourself is just knowing that I've got this new thing that I've been talking about a lot, right? And it's the happiness compass. And this is again what's got me out of a lot of like, I've been in a bit of a rut, and it really helped me get out. And I trust now that if I'm led by happiness, if I ask any decision, I come back to my happiness compass and I think, does that lead me to my happiest self, to my happiest lifestyle, to my happiest whatever? Then I just know it's all going to work out. Because ultimately the goal is happiness, isn't it? I'm going off on a major tangent here, but it's an important message. The goal is happiness, right? And I read somewhere that like 90% of the highest achievers and the most successful people just before they die are not happy. That scared me so much, because this is when I first heard that when I was in my ultimate like hustle mode, and I was like just hustling my life away, really, really sacrificing a lot. And I was just in this like, I have to be successful. And when I realized that I could keep doing this for the rest of my life and get to the end of my life and not even be happy, that is a failed life. Like I would be devastated if I didn't feel happy at the end of my life. And so that's why the whole thing shifted to me. And now it's how do I be happy? And he talked about the second part of your life, the way that you actually end your life in the most fulfilled and happy way is that you switch learning things yourself to then serving others with those things, those life experiences that you've created over time, you then give them to other people. And that is how at the end of your life, you can say, I feel truly happy because of the way that you've impacted other people. And that's why I love this online education space. You even just said as well, you love doing these courses because you love giving it to people. You genuinely love learning it yourself and sharing that message with other people. And this is why, yeah, the online education space lights me up so much, because I think I can share what I've learned and my skills with someone else that is going to impact them hugely in their life and offer them value. So yeah, that's how I trust really that what I'm doing is right. I'm led by the happiness compass. I do what makes me feel happy. And I trust that if I'm just focused on helping other people and serving, it's always going to work out right.
Totally. And I think, do you know what? I think it's so, everything you've said is so, like, of course we know we're on the same page. Like, we wouldn't be here if we're not. But I think one of the interesting things that I found is that people misunderstand and misplace happiness for pleasure. And there's a very big difference between a sense of happiness and fulfillment versus I can't be asked, I'm going to watch Netflix and whatever. I'm a big fan of Netflix, and there's
me too. Love Island. I've absolutely binged that.
I can't stand reality TV.
Oh, we've got nothing in common. Nothing in common.
Whereas I'm like totally indulgent, watch a film, like absolutely, but reality TV is not a vibe for me. Although she says becoming a TV presenter, the next thing you know, but like the new presenter of Love Island is.
Babe, you're going to have them all. You're going to be interviewing all of those reality stars.
Anyway, a whole other tangent there about what I did on my evening and the reel I made about reality TV. Hilarious. Anyway, I digress. Where was I going with this? Right. The difference between happiness and pleasure, because there will be people that will tell you that what makes them happy is going to a boring job and then coming home and doing nothing. And I would have to challenge that and say that, is that actually happiness? And I think a lot of people will use play the happy card actually from a place of comfort and fear. And I think I guess, I know that you're in a position where you've kind of gone through such periods of self-growth that's a self-actualized view of happiness. So you can do that from a person who has hustled, who's done the other things, who then is able to go, right, I know how much work this takes. I know this takes inspired work. So I recently did some podcasts on inspired action versus hustle. And I think that's actually quite a unique mindset. Like, to get to that place I believe it's, my personal belief is that's a rite of passage, that I believe we all have to hustle for a period in something, whether it's in a corporate job, or to know what it feels like. Because if you've never hustled, you don't actually know what hard work is to then know what inspired work is. So I guess that is my only challenge to what you've said, is don't use Carly's words and mistangle them as your excuse to do nothing.
Oh no, I'm still full pro work ethic. I think there's a difference between the hustle and the work ethic. Like, I'm fully pro work ethic, discipline, resilience, tenacity, vision, work. I am so pro working, and being really organized with that. I'm not pro hustling in the sense that you do it now to the point that you get ill. And I can say that because I've done that many, many times for many, many years. And I can say now that although maybe there has been times when that hustle has got me the results, however, the hustle didn't bring me that success that I hustled for didn't make me any happier. And so that's the thing. Yeah, there's a whole different, I think hustling and work ethic are different. And I can't bear lazy people. They literally drive me crazy, or people that are too like, I'm just not aligned with it. I just don't feel it. I'm like, well, come on the fuck on. You need to get it done. Sorry, you did say there was no rules. I hope I can say that word.
No rules, babe. No rules.
Okay, good. So no, I'm brutal when it comes to that, but I just think there's a way to do it now, and your happiness has to come first. And I do agree with what you said. You have to be really honest about what your happiness is. Your happiness cannot be a get out of jail free card that's like, oh, I feel happy. Are you happy?
Because I've definitely had conversations with people that are like, oh, I'm just happy when I'm not dieting. I'm like, but you're overweight.
Yeah, like, are you happy though? Yeah.
Are you happy, or are you just afraid? And I think that's a really good question, actually. There's one thing I want to take away, is to ask yourself, are you actually happy where you are, or are you just afraid of what happens next? Because that's definitely been something for me, is I've definitely used I'm happy or I'm fine as a procrastination method, because I'm terrified of what it looks like to do the next thing. I personally think that, I hate the word hustle because I hate hype. But anything for me that's like a buzzword, oh, I literally hate it. I mean, the fact that I even made a course with word manifestation in was like a stretch, because I hate buzzwords, because I think what they do is people jump on a bandwagon and they don't actually change. And for me, I just think we need to make, and by the word hard, I don't mean to your point, you know, working to the depths of not being well and healthy, but we need to make hard work sexy again. Like,
since for sure. I mean, working hard, like you finish your work and like I do, I put the kids to bed and then I go to work.
Yeah.
I now don't work until 11 o'clock and, you know, never sleep. I meditate before I go to bed. You know, I take care of my mind, but I'm still going to work. I'm not just sitting and being like, oh, self-love. And I am all for the self-love, but also I'm like, no, you have to work. You have to actually put the hours in and earn your stripes.
I would say with self-love as well, I would, you know, even with that, I would say that self-love is actualizing yourself, is being the best version of yourself. When people,
and discipline is self-love. Doing what you say you're going to do is self-love.
Because if you don't, I feel like the lack of integrity and congruence will chip away at you.
And for sure, you know, that is so damaging.
We both know this. When you're saying one thing and doing another, whether it's with food or whatever, like your inner being just cannot deal with that lack of authenticity. And so I think what often happens is people try to start something new. And I've seen this a million times in business, with diet plans, whatever it is, try to start something new. But because deep down, they're not actually willing to do the work, there's such a lack of congruence that nothing happens, and they'll blame everything on the outside about why it didn't work. And so I think, you know, one of the things that I would say definitely that Carly and I have got in common is that we'll never blame anything other than ourselves. Like, don't blame anything. Like, if the work isn't there, if the results aren't there, we both will hold our hands up and say, I didn't do it. I didn't do the work.
Yeah.
So I think it's about, for me personally right now, is I think there needs to be a shift in the entrepreneur space and I think there's definitely been a big shift, particularly in the fitness world, towards more strategy. There's a lot more strategy coaches in that space. There's a lot more, but again, wanting to do the work yourself. There's a lot of like, quick, get a PA because you've made 10 grand a month. And I would argue, why? If you're handling it, great. If you're not handling it, absolutely get resource. But, you know, I've hired multiple PAs and none of them have been right, because what I've done is hired for what was logical, hired for what made sense, but actually they were the things I was really good at. They were the things I should have done. And I think what sometimes happens is people forget the thing that made them good was their excitement and their passion for the thing. And that for me is the thing that I'm all, like we were talking about just before this, is like staying in the passion of the pursuit of the passion, and not just doing it for the cash. And sometimes there'll be means to an end. Like consultancy jobs for me are very well paid and I like money, so I'm like, you know what, I'll take it because it's great money. But that doesn't deter me from my bigger life mission. I don't let that take me off track from where I'm trying to go. Anyway, I've gone on a massive tangent now, but what I want to come back to is passive income. Right. So I saw a great reel yesterday. It's so well timed, from Grant Cardone. He was being interviewed by Lewis Howes, you know, what a combo. And he said last year, the CEO of Coca-Cola got paid $50 million and the government took half of it. Last year, Warren Buffett, who invested in Coca-Cola, took $508 million and the government took nothing. And for me, that was like, I literally shouted down the stairs to Josh. I was like, babes, we need to up our investment game, because it's just such a powerful reminder that we need to invest our money, not necessarily always have to work for our money. We have to make our money work for us. And so I think this kind of ties quite nicely into your challenge and what you're doing with your course. So I'd love for you to speak a little bit into, I guess, what you're actually doing. Like, what is going to be the course that you're launching? What is going to be the challenge that's coming up? There's also a masterclass. Like, what actually, right now, if someone's listening to this, and I've got such a mix of listeners, it's actually wild. Like, my chart is like so broad, which I always find so fascinating. You know, just speak a little bit into what it actually is. So what would they actually get? What would it actually help them do? What would it enable them to do? And how does that tie into the passive income piece?
Okay, so the challenge, I'm running a free 4-day challenge called the Sell What You Know Challenge. And this is for so many different people. This is for the person or the coach who is currently working with the one-to-one clients. They're maxed out, they're exhausted and thinking, where do I go from here? Like, this is too much. Maybe they wanted to move online and just be smarter about how they're spending their time. This is for the person working in corporate and is fed up of that grind and they want more time. They want to not be capped on how many holiday days they get and to, you know, still earn that great income though. This is also for the mum who had a career before she had kids and now she's like, where did I go? Where was where have I gone? Where's my passion? It's also for so many different people that already have businesses but want to like add on other streams. So the Sell What You Know challenge is really based around the fact that everyone has skills within them. Some people are amazing at spreadsheets, some people are amazing at baking, some people are amazing at a foreign language, some people are amazing at email funnels, so many different things.
I'm not amazing at any of those things, so I was like,
well, there's a course, you can buy a course on any of them if you want to learn.
I can buy right now to not be useless at all 4 of those things.
Exactly. So there are loads of different things that people are now buying courses for, and the online education industry is massive because people are wanting to retrain. Like, this is a real thing. People are leaving their jobs, they're wanting to start new careers, and it's the online education industry that they're looking to retrain and find new skills. So everyone is going for that. But also it's a massive industry because people are realizing, hold on, that thing that I've done in my corporate job for like 30 years and people are desperate to learn how to do, I could teach someone how to do that and they would buy a course from me. And I create that course once. They're online modules that people will just go on and buy whenever they want. And when I'm working my job, I can be earning that money as well. So people are starting to wake up and think, wow, my knowledge is not common knowledge. And that's the most important thing. Like, everyone has something in them that you think is really simple. Normally the things that comes easiest to you think, why would anyone buy this? But there is someone that is tearing their hair out and thinking, I need to know that, or I wish I knew this. So the 4-day challenge is about teaching you how to find your profitable idea, how to figure out who to sell to and where to find them, how to actually create that content and put it into the format of a course. So how do you structure it into modules? And then also how to actually package it into an offer that people are like, oh my goodness, I need that course. So that's a 4-day challenge. I give you homework. There's also going to be prizes in there as well for the people that are most kind of like engaged and, really on it. And then I'm running a masterclass. It's a 1-hour masterclass talking all about how to recession proof your business, how to create passive income, multiple income streams, and obviously how to do this with an online course. And then my program is a 10-week group coaching program, very inventively called Launch Your Course. Do you like it? It's creative, isn't it? I'm so creative. But basically that's exactly what it is. I take you through the whole process over the course of 10 weeks, how to figure out what the hell you've got inside you that you could sell, and then actually how to put it into a course and how to launch it and actually be selling it. So I'm so excited about it. There's like a Facebook community that you'll be a part of with other people going through it as well. And yeah, online courses have literally changed the game for me and so many other people that I know. And I just want to give people I just want to teach you how to do it, because then it's addictive. You're like, I know this thing. I could do a course on this. I could do a course on this. And it's just the vehicle to really, create what you want. So that is the challenge. And there is going to be a link in the show notes of this podcast for you to register.
Totally.
You're probably going to do that anyway.
Yeah, totally am. And it's so interesting what you just said. Like, that's all I've ever done with courses. Like, I know how to communicate this. I think that's all I've ever done. But Carly's put it together in a way that she's teaching it. Like, I've had to figure it out on my own because there was.
Oh, me too.
And now, what a time saver! What an amazing way to just jump straight to go. Take £200 and pass go. So yeah, Carly is we're gonna have all the information in the show notes for this. All the links in my bio will be updated, so you can join the challenge. And then if you choose to go on to both the challenge and the masterclass and the program, so all 3 things, then there will be a bonus in it for you as well. So both the masterclass and the challenge are free. And then from doing those things, there will be a bonus from me. I'm going to put the notes in the show because we're actually recording this 2 weeks out, and everyone knows I normally do my podcast and post them straight away, and I'm still percolating on which course, because there's a new course that people don't even know about yet, Carly.
Oh, really?
All about money. And
money.
I'm wondering if I give them the free money course when they do yours, because then they're doing the money mindset alongside yours. Do you know what I mean? I'm wondering, do we do the money mindset for free? Anyway, you'll know. It will be in the notes all over my Instagram by the time of the podcast. Love it. Carly, babe, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. We could talk for literally 10 hours about many things.
Such a pleasure.
Been so good to have you. I will make sure all the links to all of your socials, and obviously all the links to the challenge, masterclass and course, are included here and all over my social profiles. So have the most amazing, beautiful week, and we'll speak to you soon. That was The Way That I See It, and we'll see you on the next episode.